Hello Rifftrains viewers and welcome to the second Q&A video. I'm going to try to keep it under a half an hour. And, okay, before I start, I've got a couple quick announcements. First of all, I billed this video as having a big announcement about the format of Rifftrains. And it does, because I've decided that once I get out of Misty Island, I'm going to be doing videos on a more, like, new episode, old episode kind of thing. Let me explain what I mean by this. In each video, you'll have an older episode, meaning seasons 1 through 7, a newer episode, meaning season 8 through whatever we're up to now, and a Don Handle segment. So that's going to be the way that Rifftrains is done post Misty Island Rifftrains. Second, what was I going to say second? Must not have been important. Yeah, I'll remember it if it is important, I'll remember it. Oh yeah, Misty Island Rifftrains Part 3. It's not out yet because I'm still waiting on something for the Don Handle segment that I haven't gotten done yet. And it could be out in a couple days, it could be out in a week. I don't know yet at this point. But that's the reason for the delay on that. I will tell you this, make sure you watch for the ending of this next Don Handle segment, because it's not to be missed. Okay, I wrote out all the questions here. Now let's move this into frame. And, okay, let's get started. First of all, okay, let's start with the couple of questions I got on SIF. I'll get those out of the way first. Alright, what was the song you used as the background for this important announcement video? The song I used was something off the Ren and Stimpy production music, which is a great music source if you're looking for just background music to fill the air when you're making a project or something. What exactly was that raft doing tied to the back of the boat in Misty Island Rescue anyways? Seriously, who pays for a raft that's obviously designed to hold a train and then ties it to the back of a boat and ignores it? This may be better as a Don Handle question. No, it's a perfectly acceptable question. I'm asking myself the same thing because it makes absolutely no sense. I'll do some more thinking on that one and get back to you at the end if I think of anything good. Are you looking forward to the new Thomas movie slated for 2014? What do you think we might see? I am looking forward to it. I'm hoping that as long as the current production team, and by production team I mean the writing staff, stay far away from this thing, I think that we could have the potential to see something really cool. What do I think we might see? It's supposedly set around World War II, right? So I don't think we're going to be seeing something that, like, Thomas driving around a battlefield, or Thomas driving past a battlefield stained with corpses, or anything like that. I don't think we're going to see. I anticipate it'll be a period piece, we know that, and probably a little more mature than what we've been seeing, which could be nice, could be a good thing. And I've seen the poster, and I liked the poster. I think the Nitrogen team did a great job with the Thomas model for that. Of course, the poster is all we've seen, so it's not what I'm really saying now is there's not much use speculating about the movie because all we've seen is a single poster image. Alright, the other one I printed on this last page by mistake. If we can ask questions here. Will you ever accept suggested riffs? I.e., if you announce you'll do a riff of episode blah and we think we have a good line or two, can we send them to you in hopes of inclusion if it's funny enough? This is actually a really interesting idea, and it's something I would be open to. Like, I'm already thinking about what the Rifftrains post-Misty Island Rifftrains is going to be, because this next couple weeks it's going to be Misty Island Rifftrains 3, Misty Island Rifftrains 4, and I think Misty Island Rifftrains 5. I think it's 5 or 6 parts, because I've been getting the clips off YouTube, and it all depends on how they're split up there. But I'm thinking I'm going to be doing a Fiery Flynn riff at some point soon. And I might tie that together with... I got a request for Percy's Predicament, so I might do those together. And who knows, that might even be out before the end of Misty Island Rifftrains, depending on how I feel. So, anybody who's watching this who has interest in sending in a guest riff line, if you have a joke you'd like to make for either Percy's Predicament or Fiery Flynn, feel free. If I think it's funny, then I'll throw it in the episode. Okay, let's move on to the YouTube questions. And I think it's kind of useless for me, actually, to say I'm going to cap this at 30 minutes because I'll try, but it's I have more questions this time around than I did the first time. So, okay. What is your favorite Thomas movie? If you're referring to VHS movie, like as in the tapes that the episodes came on, I have no idea. But if you're referring to the specials and what you call it, Magic Railroad, that's actually a really good question. I love Magic Railroad, and there's a reason for that. I love it because it's so goofy. Um, I mean, seriously, where else are you going to see Alec Baldwin dressed as a conductor and sparkling in and out of scenes? Where else are you going to see Peter Fonda spending over half the film angsting about not being able to make her steam? Where else are you going to see Thomas sliding down a mountainside? Hi, I'm back. Sorry, I edited something out there because I was rambling for far too long. But what I was basically saying is I love Magic Railroad, and the reason for that is, yes, it defiles canon in pretty much every established way, but it's so goofy that you just gotta love it. I can see why other people don't, obviously. I mean, like, some people, some people who aren't me, are much more picky, and not picky in a bad way, but just picky in a little more meticulous way about detail and things being exactly as they are on real life railways. But Magic Railroad didn't bother me so much. And besides, if we discount Magic Railroad, then I'm left with Calling All Engines, Great Discovery, Hero Over the Rails, and oh god, Misty Island Rescue. None of which I particularly enjoyed. Calling All Engines, maybe, but not the other three. So yeah, Magic Railroad is my favorite Thomas movie, and who knows, maybe this new one will eclipse it. Why do you think that Dane Cook isn't funny? I'll be completely honest here. I made fun of Dane Cook for the sake of a joke. I've barely listened to the guy. But what I have listened to didn't really blow me away. So, there's that. That's why I don't think he's particularly funny. Do you enjoy playing Mortal Kombat? I would love to say yes to this question, but I've never played it in my life. It's just one of those things. It's part of my list of things that I mean to do, but I've never gotten to do. Why did you make Don Handel? I made Don Handel, and I may have answered this in the other video, I'm not sure. But I made Don Handel because of the Godfather-esque voice that Michael Brandon gave him in The Man in the Hills. And I just blew that into its own little spin-off shtick. So that's why I made Don Handel. What got you into doing Rifftrains? I talked about my my influences in the last video, but what specifically got me into it? I think a day came when I was thinking about, you know, Alaric is doing some, has done his riffs on Thomas fan fiction in the past, and he did one for Thomas and the Magic Railroad as well. So I thought to myself, you know, I could do something like this. So I took a look at the Flying Kipper, which was my first Rifftrains, and it took me a couple months to do because I had never done it before. Since then, I've streamlined the process and now can complete entire Rifftrains in a matter of days, which is kind of nice. But Flying Kipper kind of occurred to me to do because it's always been one of my favorites. I have a thing for Henry episodes, I guess. But and the ones that I have a thing for Henry episodes that don't involve wishing trees. But I did that. Why did I hate it when I just randomly forget what I was trying to say mid-sentence. It kind of sucks. That was it. Sorry, I lost my train of thought entirely there. But that's what got me into doing Rifftrains. Just kind of a, hey, why not thought. I emailed Alaric to see if it was okay with him. He said it was cool. So I did it, and I've been doing it since. Okay, would you like the ability to insert yourself into any TV show and have the ability to, well, basically do whatever you want, smash Percy to thousands of pieces with a giant, or maybe think of brutal ways to punish certain cartoon characters or SpongeBob? If so, what would you do, to whom, and what? Okay, I haven't really read through these questions yet. That might need to change in the future. But, I guess I'd like to... Sorry for the uncomfortable silence, by the way. I'm just thinking this over. I would like to go into the universe of the Venture Brothers and apply for a position as a supervillain in the Guild of Calamitous Intent, because that would be really cool. That's what I would do. I don't think I would go in and brutally kill anybody, just because that's not kind of really not my thing. What are your thoughts about the upcoming 2 Thomas movies? Answered that one already. Oh wait, I'm assuming that the upcoming 2 refer to Day of the Diesels and the 2014 movie. So I'll talk about Day of the Diesels a little bit. I think I did that in the other video also, but what the hell? Day of the Diesels, I'm not very optimistic about, because it's another Sharon Miller thing. It's she doesn't have the best track record, and that's pretty much it. What else we got here? Can you please not riff Thomas Percy and the Dragon? The episode scares the crap out of me. What is your favorite season and episode between seasons 12 and 15? I don't know if you guys got any of that last sentence because of the extremely loud clock in this room, but sure, I won't riff Thomas Percy and the Dragon. I'll do my best to avoid that one. What's your favorite season and episode between seasons 12 and 15? I think I said in the other video, again with the other video, I know, I'm sorry about that, but I think I said that I haven't really regularly watched any of that, so I can't really give you an answer, because all I really have to draw on is my recent memories of Season 15, and they're not happy memories. Not happy memories at all. Hello, I saw your riff of Henry's Forest and I very much enjoyed it, but is this the only episode you have found difficult to riff? If not, what are the others? Would you be trying to riff more of the other series, such as 1, 2, or 3? Kind regards. Alright, I'm glad you enjoyed Henry's Forest. It was a joy to riff. I love that episode. I love it dearly, but I'm of the opinion that humor is something all-encompassing. You should be able to laugh at just about... there's humor in all situations. And even something as genuinely moving as Henry's Forest deserves a good-natured ribbing. Yes, I have found other episodes difficult to riff before. I'm having a little difficulty with Misty Island, to be honest. Not because it's particularly good, but because there's only so many show-don't-tell jokes you can make. There's only so many rhyming and alliteration jokes you can make before you just start to sound like a broken record. I don't know, I had no trouble riffing the Flying Kipper, which is kind of odd, I suppose, given that, it's an Audrey episode and everything. But, ditto with Buzz Buzz. I would love to riff more older stuff, and I plan to once Rifftrains goes into its new format. So yes, look out, and you'll see more older episodes on the horizon. Do you have a favorite episode of MST3K? If so, what is it? Yes, I do have a favorite episode of MST3K. I have actually a couple favorites. Let's see. Ega, which is it was a caveman movie that was rather amusing. It had Richard Kiel from James Bond, who played Jaws. He was the caveman. That one was pretty good. Manos: The Hands of Fate. Prince of Space, which is Prince of Space is a cheesy Japanese science fiction film starring a guy who drives around an upside down soap dish and fights chicken men with giant cod pieces. It's a weird movie, but it's a fun one. And also we got Space Mutiny, which another cheesy science fiction film, which how do you describe Space Mutiny? Space Mutiny is every science fiction film you've ever seen, but taken up to 11. And the hero of the film, Reb Brown, screams like a little girl. What is your favorite question? Why this one, of course. I don't want to be unfairly biased towards one question or another, so I'll just skip that. Percy has ran out of coal just a few short miles away from Farmer McCoy's farm, and all the other engines are too far away from him to rescue, so his driver decides to go look for help. Moments later, Percy is greeted by his good friend Thomas, but during their chit-chat, Thomas's driver is so preoccupied with this conversation that he doesn't keep watch on Thomas's regulator. This causes Thomas's boiler to explode. This blocks the sidetrack. So my question is, what is your stance on gay marriage? I have no idea what those two things have to do with each other, but I'm not going to give you an answer to this question. And the reason for that is whatever I say, I'm going to piss somebody off. So if you really want to know my stance on gay marriage, then I want you to send me a personal message, and I'll tell you in that. Because there's an old saying that like there's certain things you're not supposed to discuss in conversation, like politics and religion and that sort of thing. I'm a believer in that. So if you want to know the answer to that, then send me a personal message on YouTube. Hi DarthRatbat, will you do some more Rifftrains of Thomas movies, i.e. The Great Discovery, Thomas and the Magic Railroad, etc.? Let's see how Misty Island Rifftrains comes out first. Then I may consider it. Because I try to keep my stuff fresh and engaging. Yeah, I'd be open to doing another movie, and I would like to do a collaborative riff at some point, namely myself and one or two other people. So if you, this is another thing that ties into my ongoing effort to have other people do riffing productions. So if anybody else does riffs, and you haven't already told me about it, I think like Space Scream and John told me about his. I've seen Proteus riffs and one other guy whose name I'm forgetting, who had kind of grainy footage quality. I don't remember his username. But if you do riffing productions of Thomas stuff and you haven't told me about it, please do, because I would love to see how it comes out, and I would love to look for a collaborator for something like this. Okay, so there's supposed to be a new live-action Thomas and Friends movie coming out in 2014. Do you think it'll be good or bad for the franchise? I think it'll be good for the franchise because it'll show if it comes out as being at all mature and intelligent, then it will show people that Thomas doesn't need to be what it currently is in order to appeal to children. It'll show the public. Sorry, itchy nose. It'll show the public that that Thomas has the ability to entertain an older audience on a level beyond, a couple thousand guys on the internet. So I think it'll be good. I think I got a few. One, what is your favorite fizzy drink? Diet Coke. Crap. Sprayed it right on my laptop. Don't you hate it when that happens? Okay, I did read the questions ahead a little bit, so I would know to do that at that point. Which character of the Thomas series do you wish wasn't introduced? Now, there's a good question. I think let's get right on it and say we're all thinking Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand right now, aren't we? So yes, particularly Ferdinand, because he adds absolutely nothing to the series that couldn't be accomplished with other characters. Bash and Dash are a close second because they're completely unnecessary as well, and just those characters I just wish weren't introduced because they steal screen time away from everybody else whenever they appear. 2B, are there any characters you want to be reintroduced? I'd like Duck back, but I'm afraid of what would happen to him if Duck came back. I'm afraid that he'd be altered beyond recognition. So, there's not really characters I would love to see back, I guess, at this point. Not many, at least. If the series stays how it is right now, then I don't want to see any older characters back. Because, while it would be nice to see them, they'd only be there for the sake of promoting a toy. Want to see reintroduced, different stories, etc. What are your favorite and least favorite characters of the series? Favorite, I'm going to list in a little bit, because I have a top 10 favorite list thing. My least favorite used to be Emily, but I kind of mellowed in my hatred towards that character over time, just because she was a lot less annoying as the series went on. What else we got? Least and Bash, Dash, and Ferdinand again. I really dislike. Charlie's kind of unnecessary as well. Would you ever consider making a Rifftrains video with others riffing with you, like a group Rifftrains or something? I just covered that, but yes, I would consider that. Aside from being a comedian and video riffer, what other hobbies do you have / enjoy? I love reading comics, and I love video gaming. Those are my major hobbies at this point in time. Although, I don't know, I like riding my bike. That's pretty fun. And I collect Transformers. Here's one. I haven't transformed him yet because there's this nasty little twisty tie thing on the front of him that I can't get off. So I'm going to get some scissors once I'm done recording this. Alright. After season 15, which would you say is your least favorite season of Thomas? I don't know. I didn't really like... I guess it would have to be season 8. Because season 8 is a classic case of too much too soon. Like, you had season 7, which was still kind of in keeping with the seasons previous, but season 8 was just a complete format shift, and it was a little too fast. They could have eased into it with a season that was kind of a middle ground. Like, sure, they introduced, like, they could have phased out some of the older characters over time, rather than just dropping half the cast and saying, okay, the show's about these 8 engines now. Do you believe that... So, yeah, season 8 is my least favorite season. Do you believe that certain favorite members of the cast were sacrificed so that HIT could bring in new characters to make more money from a younger audience? Yes, absolutely. That's simple... I think, or relatively simple business thing, I think, because there's some characters who, yes, they have wonderful personalities and lovely, rich history, but the part of what HIT does is, yes, they want to sell toys, but part of it is they wanted to expand what kind of characters you can see in the show. So you have characters like you had Emily introduced, who was kind of at first she was just kind of a bigger sister character, but they kind of branched out her personality beyond that. And I need more soda. But you got Hero, who's an older, wiser engine, and who's also Japanese. I think he's Japanese. Okay, Japanese. You got Charlie, who's the fun-loving engine, although there's been tons of those already, so I'm kind of a bad example. You got Bill and Ben, I mean Bash and Dash, who are basically Bill and Ben and every other twin group established in the show. But I can kind of see what Hit was trying to do by introducing new characters, but it just didn't work out so well, in my opinion. Will you make a Day of the Diesels riff? Oh, there! I need to actually see it first. Because if it's bad, then sure I'll make one. But if it's good, then I don't know. I'm going to answer this one with a solid maybe. It all depends upon how it is. What is your top 10 favorite Thomas characters? I wrote them down, so I shall read them off. Duck, Edward, Henry, Rusty, Donald, Douglas, Boko, Peter Sam, Oliver, and the Fat Controller. Represent. And that's really in no particular order, although Duck is my absolute favorite, and Henry and Edward are pretty near the top. Those were the first ones that came to mind. Sometimes during your riffs, you impersonate the characters. Who is your favorite character to voice? My favorite character to voice, Thomas-wise, is probably the Fat Controller, just because he's so cool. I love trying to emulate that. Hello, my name is Sir Topham Hatt. That's kind of a fun thing to do. And for non-Thomas characters, you have henchman number 24 from the Venture Brothers, who's got kind of a higher voice like this, like Ray Romano mixed with Jerry Seinfeld. So, those are my favorite characters to voice. Would you ever consider riffing a Thomas S... I'm just going to wait for this clock to stop. Are you finished? It's finished. Would you ever consider riffing a Thomas-esque YouTube series, such as Simierski's British Railway series, or Miss Oliver and Blossom's T&F? Further, if I may be allowed two separate questions, have you seen / what are your thoughts on Chuggington, and how do you think it compares to Thomas Season 15? The only way I'm going to be riffing somebody's YouTube series is if that person comes directly to me and asks me to riff it, because I don't feel like it's my job to say, hey, look at the video, look how bad it is. If the person themselves says, hey, would you like to riff my YouTube series? Then I will say, yeah, sure, gladly. So you're going to need to come directly to me with that, because I don't want to feel like I'm just being an ass of myself for no reason. And with Chuggington, I've seen one episode of Chuggington, and it was better than Season 15. It wasn't my favorite show ever, but it was okay. So those are my thoughts on Chuggington. Have you ever thought about riffing a different series, like Blue's Clues or Postman Pat? Yeah, I've thought about it, and I'm certainly willing to try something different like that. But it's not really on the agenda right now. Right now I'm more Thomas focused. But if I had to pick something to riff, there's a couple things I'd like to riff. Like I announced something a long time ago that I don't know if I'll ever get to. It was like an old economics video called The Kingdom of Mocha, which I was planning on riffing for a while, but I never got around to. So who knows? That might still come out at some point. Also, I'd like to riff the. If any of you have ever seen, if you were ever in Boy Scouts, you might have seen the Gun Safety with Eddie Eagle video, which I found on the internet. It's pretty easy to come by, and I'd like to riff that at some point, just for a laugh. But That's I haven't thought of like transitioning full on to into another show though. If I had to pick one that I might want to do, maybe He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, because it's simply because it's just crazy. Um, so yeah, whatever happened to Thomas Abridged? It's on hiatus because of lack of inspiration, which I believe I again went into on the other video. But Thomas Abridged is something. It's a completely different thought process than Rifftrains. So. Um, you'll see more of it. It's just a matter. It'll be a matter of time. What drives you to be a comedian? I just like making people laugh. If if I'm succeeding in that, then I'm doing my job. Um, that's really what I just like to entertain people. Why are you cashing in on the success of the previous Q&A? Because I felt like it. I thought it might be a good idea to do it this time. It seemed like a good time. I'm still waiting on a couple things for the next Rifftrains. The commentary part of it's mostly done, by the way. It's just the Don Handel segment that is completely unstarted at this point. And I figured, why not fill this extra bit of space with a Q&A video? Why can't I ever think of any questions to ask for things like this? I don't know. Perhaps you should eat more green vegetables. Maybe that would help. Why are you so awesome? Well, I've never proclaimed myself to be awesome, but eating my green vegetables, that's why I'm so awesome. I don't know what that was. All right, so that's all my questions. So until next time, guys, I will say enjoy yourselves, live life to its fullest, and yeah.